All right, man.
Chill on forehead.
LTBR Daily. It's Tuesday morning. It is May 11th. We're in the middle of Ultimate Madness 3 season. You know what I'm saying? This is my favorite time of the year. I love the seasons of the tournament. They feel like a little mini college football season. I talked about it briefly yesterday on my show, but now that CeCe's here, I really want to hear her thoughts, right? So Smack had a really interesting quote when asked about KCJ's performance, and he says, "She is the face of female battle rap." Now, I was surprised to see a handful of her peers agree. 40 bars agree. Of course, the Bardashians are gonna agree. But like there's a lot of pushback from, the people of battle rap. The people didn't agree with Smack's sentiments. Let's start to the people for one quick minute, and then CeCe, I want to hear your take. Is KCJ? I'll ask the people. Is KCJ the face of female battle rap as of today? Golden says, "I see no lie." Bad Money says, "Hustle was big mad."
I know she was. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Like,
Casey got the juice. Up there, guy says, "I guess." Lil Brown says, "As of today, yep." Tata says, 40 is the queen, and she agrees. 40 bars agreeing like makes me feel a little bit
that puts weight on it.
That puts weight on it. That puts a lot of weight on it. And thank you for that, Tata. It's definitely an update. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to 40 because people be thinking she a hater or like she's like the Nicki Minaj of that female bad rapper. She really not. Like, she'll give props to you if you don't, but she's not gonna lie. If she don't think you that good or you didn't do good, she gonna say you didn't do good or you not that good.
Yeah, she keeps it down. She keeps it down the middle. She's not biased. She was a judge. Right. She was a judge for a reason, CeCe. She's not biased.
So are we basing this off wins and losses or performance?
I mean, Smack didn't really give a criteria, so he just left it in the air, right?
Because for me, I would think if we're gonna name anybody, man or female, the face of battle rap, it got to be based on performance. And I don't know what she did versus Mac Myron. Did that battle go down?
I heard it did. I see no updates. I haven't seen it.
Ain't nobody been talking about it like it didn't happen.
That thing came in and went. Like, I don't know. Vandross says Mac smoked her. I'm gonna have to wait and see for myself.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm always one of those people that
But you know what? How about this? If Mac did smoke her, she won the battle. That was more important. That's all that matters.
That's true. That's a good point. And I would think, I'm not talking about all career long. I'm talking about as far as 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, Vixen, I thought her one rounder versus EK was solid. We can debate who won and who didn't. But excuse me. But then you had her losing to Loso, and even though it was a clear loss, she put on a fight. It wasn't like she dropped the ball. It wasn't like she came in there and just was ass. Like, she just lost a fight. Like, her and Loso went in there and competed. They went to blows verbally. And she walked out of there with a few black eyes and a little lip. Okay? But she gonna see to fight for another day. And Casey, she beat Twerk, but she didn't have a stellar performance. And she did a way better job versus Prep.
Way better.
And you also got people like Lady Caution that have been battling more than both of them, but it's been a lot of small league action. So again, I want to make sure we're being fair. We're not just saying, if it's not on URL and caffeine and it don't matter. I've never been one of those people. I'm not about to conform to that bullshit. Like, Smack, I hear you, but I don't give a fuck if it's on your shit or not. Like, if somebody putting in work, they putting in work, period.
Well, all right. Here's some of the reasons why I feel like Smack's statement isn't hyperbolic. Once the KCJ and Prep battles drop, KCJ will have the highest winning record of any female on the app. That's one. Once KCJ battles Geechee God, she'll have the most caffeine appearances out of any female.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, even though the battles may be lackluster, we can't say she's losing them. Like, that's one thing you can't say. You can't say that she's losing any of these battles, especially not to the guys. So,
I mean, Bonnie, she won. It wasn't a good
Bonnie, she
battle.
won. Swamp, she
but
won.
she
Twerk,
won.
she won. Prep, she won. Miss Merc, she won.
The only person that I can say she lost to, which is another debate and controversy, is Coffee.
You know,
that's the only person that has come close to beating her. But then a lot of people want to say that's not even a real win because of the choking shit.
Right. So like that battle is a loss on content, but with the backstory, it's not a loss in the eyes of the people. So then it's like she's not really losing, and more importantly, she was cooking on URL before the pandemic hit. She's the only one of these girls that has at least a stage performance. So when she bodied Merc, and she had one of the best performances that night and was dominant. So you can point to her and say, well, she didn't need COVID to start cooking.
Yeah, I said her, 40, and Nitty definitely were the stars that night. Mm-hmm. But I mean, my thing is this: I'm not gonna push back on it. You know, I'm definitely not gonna push back on it because those accolades alone, like she's putting in work for the ladies. Like she's showing that if you give a woman an opportunity, she's going to excel. So don't be scared to give these girls plates. Like she's really like it's bigger than Casey. For Smack to even acknowledge it, I appreciate it. So that's why I'm not even about to like try to tear it down. Like at the end of the day, it's good for female battle rap. We want Uncle Smack to support us. We want Uncle Smack to support these ladies, give these ladies opportunities. So, I mean, regardless if you agree with it or not, it's great. That's amazing. I'm glad we started the show on that note. I'm not mad at it.
I think it's important to say because, right, like every single time Casey gets up to plate, right, she's been an underdog thus far. All 3 rounds, she's been an underdog. In fact, only 16% of the brackets even had her getting in this position to begin with. So I can't discredit her for battling people that choke unprepared, right? When no one believed she could even get here to begin with. You know what I'm saying? If you really had the faith that these people wouldn't be unprepared, maybe she would have had more of an opportunity or a chance by the people to be here. And everybody says, oh, well, she can't beat Geechee. Well, you guys said the exact same thing for both battles. Like, we can't rule out none of the things that's not possible. And if she beats Geechee and goes to Nome, she'll be the first female back on Nome in 6 years. So that's another accolade to add to the belt. So whether she wins or loses on Nome, it's already major. And if she wins the entire tournament, which is only 2 battles away, very possible, she's like the Wody lock, right? So
she gets to the like I said, if any of the women would have got to the final, so this is not just for Casey, if it would have been Official or Yoshi, if one of them would have got to the finals, that is very big talking points for Wody of the year. I don't give a damn who you put on that panel. They got to acknowledge that point for them. They got to.
We have a Wody panelist here on the show, right? And she lost that award by 1 vote. 1 panel vote, she lost that award. And he only got switched. Casey would have been the Wody. And in fact, Casey could possibly have been a 2-time Wody. All right? So I agree with Smack. She might just be the face.
Look, I agree with everybody in the chat. Her and Vixen got to get set up. That might be one of those end of the year, like, okay, we both put in our own work on the side. We both been talking shit. Like, we know we gonna have to see each other. We ain't rushed into it, but it gotta happen. Before we get into a new year, we gotta settle some shit. We gotta talk. I gotta get some things off my chest.
All right, guys. So we're gonna have JB, the director, join the show in a few minutes. For those who don't know JB, he is the person behind all the visuals, all the battles, all the productions. He's the guy that shoots everything, makes battle rap look as pretty and beautiful as it does. He'll be joining us in the next 5 minutes or so. But and when he gets on here, don't bombard him with all these questions in regards to what happened to Loso and Chess, all right? Because we're gonna find out soon, all right? We were supposed to get Loso and Chess yesterday, CeCe. The app notification said Loso Chess. Everybody got excited. Everybody was tweeting. Everybody got so happy, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't press the notification fast enough to realize the battle got swapped out for Ryda and Nunn Nunn.
That was some disrespectful ass shenanigans. That was so disrespectful. That what did Big Worm say? Play with my emotions. that played with my emotions yesterday.
As of right now, at this very moment, Nunn Nunn is winning this battle by 1 vote on the app. So everybody here, I need you to go to the app and go vote for Nunn Nunn so that I can make my Nunn Nunn over Tay-Rock case a little bit stronger.
Oh God. Okay, Ryda 2-1. And see, because now I'm not Ryda 2-1. Ryda 2-1. I was gonna say Nunn Nunn, but I'm going Ryda 2-1. You know, the silk shirt, you know, wins again. The silk wins again. Ryda got that.
You know what was my favorite part? You know what my favorite part of the battle dropping, CeCe? Ryda tweets out, "Y'all thought y'all was getting Loso and Nunn Nunn? Ha ha, think again, motherfuckers."
Tata says Ryda 3-0.
It's not. Hold on, time out, guys. It's not a bad battle at all. It's not a bad battle at all. It's just if you're expecting steak, right? It's like if you're expecting steak, and instead you just get a plate of potatoes and zucchinis, and you're like, "Hold on, man, what happened here? Where is the steak?" You know what I'm saying? Salute to Queen of the Ring. I see they in here. Their battle just dropped. Yep, we'll definitely be getting to that battle. We got our man JB coming on. So salute to that. Miss Marla says, "Yeah, better not be lying on the app just to prove France wrong." Yo, make sure y'all vote correctly, all right? Nunn Nunn won that battle, all right? Make sure y'all vote correctly. All right, let's send JB the link and all that. Let's get my guy on here.
Okay, all jokes aside, I think I love Nunn Nunn's second.
His second was bananas.
His second, that's the clearest round to me, and he won that mofo. His second round was crazy. Like, he anticipated the angle because we know Ryda's been on this yo girl out here doing whole activity angles a lot lately. He loves those angles. He loves those things. But he flipped it back on him. He's like, "You're not no pimp, you're a pillow talker."
Is what Ryda's doing not the definition of it? Like,
because I was just like, and he broke it down like how like you ain't no pimp and you're just in all these girls' DMs. Like how he just broke it down. I was just like, ooh, he's talking back. He said, "Your claim to fame was your Mike P angle. Ain't that a bitch?" Just like, yeah, he's going.
That was fire. That was good. Yo, hold on. I gotta give Ryda props. His third round was fire. He was like, he looked at them and he said, "When you guys stormed the Capitol." Yo, when did Ryda get this funny? That was hilarious.
I think Ryda is cool, like, for real. Like, shout out to Ryda, shout out to Nunn Nunn. That's a good look for Nunn Nunn after a good performance right after JC to show everybody it ain't no fluke. This is what I'm on. This is what I'm capable of bringing every single time, whether it's an app drop or an event. So shout out to Nunn Nunn and shout out to Ryda too. Right. I was entertained. I like the battle.
While we wait for JB to pull up on us, the chat, what do you guys think of Ryda Nunn Nunn? Who do you guys have winning? Nunn Nunn is consistent with the quality, says M. Mm-hmm. Who do you guys have winning that battle? Let's hear it. Nunn Nunn the first two, says Hot Stepper. Ryda 2-1, always in profit. To be determined. Nunn Nunn 2-1. Nunn Nunn 3-0. Let's go. Nunn Nunn 2-1. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, CeCe.
Y'all ain't gonna get Ryda a round.
Hey, CeCe, I got one last question for you. Who had a better performance, Tay-Rock against Verb or Nunn Nunn against Ryda? Oh, I'll wait.
We're not doing it.
I'll wait.
I'm not entertaining
I'll wait.
I'm not entertaining this no more for the rest of the year. I told you, I'm not entertaining this. I entertained it way too many times.
Answer the question.
I'm not entertaining this. I am too.
All right, let's bring JB on. He's in the waiting room. Let's bring on the man of the hour. All right.
Hey, JB.
All right, man. The handsome and delicious JB is now on air.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What the fuck did I just walk into? That's a hell of a way for my day to start.
Yo, where is Vlad? You can't do no more intros.
Hold on, CeCe.
You can't do no more intros.
No more intro. I'm not not doing no more intros.
You can't use this. No, we taking that away from you now.
They're gonna put that on me now. Oh Lord.
They gonna be like, here come Adept and DNA 2, JB and friends from Let's Talk Battle Rap been having secret love affair and
See, now you're giving them a title. Don't do that. Oh my God. What am I doing?
The man behind the lens, the man behind the visuals that makes all the battles look as graphic and as beautiful as they does. You guys know him as JB, but I know him as the real chef. All right. JB, welcome to Let's Talk Battle Rap for the 15,000th time.
Good morning, family. How are we?
We're doing
Everybody's
wonderful.
woken up now.
Yeah, man, we have to get everybody alive a little bit, energize everybody. Look, let's get this one question out the way before they bombard you.
Okay.
We're gonna get Chess and Loso soon, right?
Yes. So, yeah, let's go ahead and address that really quickly. Despite everybody who wanted to message me directly, one, I don't release the battles. That is not me. I don't release the battles. I'm sorry that you guys got like the weird cock block on the fucker where you got I know that Chess and Loso came out for a brief period of time and then it was unreleased. That's an accident on the technical side. That's supposed to come out next. With all the love for Chess and Loso, I personally tried to make a big deal about how good Chess and Loso was while it was happening, so that people would understand what was about to arrive. The bosses agreed, and they want to do a trailer and get that out on YouTube and get it to social and make a really big deal about it and make kind of an impact. That's why that happened. So if you saw Chess and Loso briefly, or even if you made it all the way through it, that's just kind of like a bonus to you. Like, see it as a bonus. Don't see it as a bad thing. Like, I mean, you can see it however you want, but don't message me because I don't got shit to do with it, frankly.
Somebody in the chat said, "Okay, JB, you safe."
I appreciate that. I appreciate the Let's Talk Battle Rap Nation being in my corner, because I swear it's just not my fault. I don't cop a lot of pleas out here. I take a lot of responsibility, even for stuff I don't do, but that one I can't. There's way too many messages. I can't message everybody back. It wasn't me, guys.
All right, man. So, JB, I want to move to Ultimate Madness 3 season. We're at the halfway point of the season. I want to ask,
crazy, right?
How are you feeling about the halfway point so far? And however you're feeling right now, did you have the same feelings for the last two seasons, or were they different at the halfway point?
Okay. First question first. It feels nuts. Like, I think the thing that we've all learned, is that $100,000 is very real pressure. Some people who we have never seen choked. Some people, it's very real, because it seems like your initial thought, and mine too, was like, God damn, like, how the fuck does somebody come unprepared? How does somebody arrive unprepared? CeCe's making a lot of faces already. What do you want to say, CeCe?
I'm agreeing with you. How you are coming up in here with nothing for $100,000?
This is how, yeah. So that was my initial reaction too, and my feeling about it is, if I'm looking at it with a little bit of empathy, I think 100,000 is brutal. Like, that's a lot of pressure, Like, it's like if somebody held $1,000 in front of your face and said, "Be funny right now," you'd have a moment of like, "Holy shit!" Right? See, I see you making faces. Go ahead, say what you want to say.
No, I was thinking of my joke. I was thinking of a joke I was saying.
No, but I really do think that we've seen people who are known for consistency, or known for freestyling, or known for whatever, reacting in ways that we haven't seen before, right? I mean, that part is fair, right? So it makes me think, what is it? And I think $100,000 is just a very different amount of pressure than a regular battle where you can walk away and you still kind of got your money and you still whatever and you can rebuild all that shit. I think $100,000 prize hanging over your head makes a little stumble or makes the thought of, oh shit, what do I say next? Have a lot more gravity. And then all of a sudden you're feeling that gravity in the moment and then you choke. That's my analysis of it. Feel free to push back on that. That's some armchair psychology shit.
I mean, some of the people in the chat, they ain't trying to hear. They think if they was in the same situation, they can pull up 3 rounds, memorize, and have it be enough. But I mean,
then y'all are on UM4. How about that?
It's just hard because you got to think about like even the official said it before the battle with Cortez. Like, this is not just gonna change her life, but her family's life. Like $100,000. You know what you can do with $100,000?
I do.
You know how many different ways you flip $100,000?
Listen, I can think of 100,000 things to say for $100,000. At least, right? But I mean, I'm not a rapper, so the pressure is different. I mean, seeing that those rappers kind of like crumble under the pressure is a really good analysis because it's like you never see that from official. Like if you had predicted before that battle, official will choke all 3 rounds, you would have sounded crazy.
Yeah,
you would have sounded crazy.
Right. So. That's where I'm coming at it from. Is it seems to me like seeing official not be official damn near for the first time ever begs a fucking an explanation. You know what I mean? And the best I got without sitting down and doing a long form interview with my friend official is $100,000 is real, man.
I guess the money is like one of the biggest differences so far between the first 2 tournaments, but as well as the crowd. So like this time you guys chose to not have it empty where it's just the 2 rappers battling, right? You guys put a little bit of an audience, maybe about I want to say 10 people there, maybe a little bit more, give or take, for a little bit for a bit of energy, and it works out. But there's a lot of battle rappers that are in media that are saying they want Ultimate Madness 3 to go back to the original format where it's just the 2 rappers. How do you feel about the crowd being implemented for this season?
Yeah, I've seen that too. I mean, I think we made the decision that I think everybody else would have made fan wise, which is we want to see some people back, right? We want to see some of that energy. But again, it's a tournament, so we restricted it to a pretty minimal group. I think probably the most slanted crowd we've seen in the tournament thus far is probably the Geechee and Swamp situation, where it was like Swamp and Geechee, like Swamp was kind of keeping up with Geechee, but if you were just listening to crowd reaction, you would think it was like this brutal 30, right? Yeah. Not the case. I don't think it's controversial to say that's not the fucking case. It wasn't some body. So that's the only time where I really felt like it was an issue at all. But I mean, that's kind of what we run into with Geechee being from 20 minutes away from the studio and showing up with his people and that, you know. So I don't know if we have any like plan to handle that. We probably should. But I don't yet know what that plan is.
Ain't everybody supposed to just have a +1?
You know, I've got my headphones on, directing the cameras. I don't know how the gate.
CeCe, think of it this way: if you were going to a venue that's down the block from your crib, you're gonna be like, I can only bring one person. I'm in my hood. I can't just bring one person. Like,
I mean, to be honest, look, if you ain't gonna tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it. If everybody gonna act like they don't see what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it.
So Swamp had this quote on the Euro Media News. He said, "Battling Geechee there felt like playing LeBron at the Staples Center."
Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was like, I mean, I just called it out. It was a biased thing. Now, I I know that can affect your performance a bit, but Swamp is also not a person that is known for getting thrown off by things like that. He is, despite anybody else we may have just referenced, he is very well rehearsed, right? He knows his shit backwards and forwards. And so there are still four judges that aren't really going to be influenced by like people from Geechee's neighborhood, you know? Um, and those are the people who tell you whether or not you get to keep going. So I like while the I don't know, while the aesthetics of like your best friends cheering and nobody cheering for the other guy isn't my favorite. I also don't think it would have come between him and $100,000.
I mean, I can't really blame it on the entourage because I mean, you had some people that you have other people that are kind of URL related. They wasn't really giving Swamp a lot of love either. Not you. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I didn't think you were talking about me. I'm in the truck. I just
plus ones and the lucky fan who knows somebody that could slide them in for a plus one. But there's people, it's just like
this kind of reminded me of when Swamp battled Twerk and like Tay-Rock and like all these people kind of surround him in a circle, and that was like the first time we seen a circle in the early stages of COVID battles, and it almost looked like a ritual when like you're pledging a frat and everybody surrounds you, and that kind of made Swamp rise to the occasion. So the same situation happened here, and at the end of his second round, you could hear him mumble, "I don't need no reactions." So like he fought through it, I don't know if it made that much of a difference, but I mean, of course, with like some people that don't want to digest the material or digest the bars, they'll just point to the little details in between without them. Oh, he stumbled. Oh, there's a crowd. Oh, there's gas. Like, yes, people are enjoying themselves for raps. That happens when you're in a room of talented individuals, but did you hear the material in between? So.
Yeah, and there's just no perfect way to do things. I mean, I hate to brush it off with such a simple statement, but there's no fucking perfect way to do any of this. Like, we can all sit down, and we do sit down the next day and go, that felt weird when this happened or that happened or this happened. But like, there's never been $100,000 fucking tournament before, right?
Never.
Like, we haven't had this. So like, the stakes are way up. How people are acting and reacting and trying to manipulate the situation to their own advantage, whether they're complaining about it afterwards or whether they're bringing their friends with them, all of that is $100,000 worth of manipulation. You know what I mean? So it's a thing that's just under constant review. All of us, like you guys, me, everybody in the chat right now is like, that's bullshit. It should be like this. Yeah, maybe. Like, let's keep talking about it. We'll just figure shit out. I mean, hopefully things like this become a staple of battle rap culture all the time. I think that's what every single one of us wants.
I mean, we've got a lot of mixed reviews in the chat. Some people are saying there's nothing wrong with the reactions or having people, and some people are saying like, clear the room. So
right. And that's the conversation that we got to have.
Yeah. And somebody else also said, my bad. Somebody else also said you guys should put the stack of money, the 100,000, on the face-off table.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. If I steal if I steal that, you can whatever. Maybe you can be a +1, but then you got to clear the room.
But I said I can't take credit for that. That was _4. Make sure you get your little credits.
Out of all the moments that you have shot all Ultimate Madness 3 seasons, right? Season 1, 2, 3. There's this moment right here that I'm about to play rank number 1 in funniest moments of the entire tournaments.
What the fuck this bitch did to me? What the fuck?
It has to be, right? Like, that's number 1.
Here's what's fucking genius about that. Here's what's frustrating about that moment. That's actually kind of a fantastic freestyle, if you will. Yeah. Like blaming it on, blaming it on this bitch. Like, what did this bitch do to me? He should have just turned that into a bar, right? he was right at the edge. It's almost a bar. He just needed a couple little bullshit things to kind of precede it and be like, I'm out here falling out. What the fuck this bitch do to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could have accused her of voodoo, all kind of shit. Like, he could have just said something.
Yo, she got that voodoo. Her and Official, they do some damn rituals before these battles for her. I don't know what the hell she got. She got the voodoo. Period.
Yeah. She sure does.
I want to talk about now the actual visuals of this tournament. I love the lighting for round 2. I guess I might be off of my colors, but like that lighting was kind of like goldish, right? The lighting was gold. Talk to us about like the aesthetics for this season and what was your game plan for it that you wanted to do different from the other two?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go back and look, the way that I've approached all 3 seasons is I start with a particular aesthetic, like a particular lighting scheme in whatever room we've rented out to do the tournament. And then the look is sort of one way on day 1 or round 1. And then as it goes, there's little changes. Like I keep with the same basic theme, and then you'll see little changes. Extra lights will come in, or the color will shift subtly. You'll see like I bring in colors from the actual promotional materials, like the most of the graphics and stuff for UMs has like an orange theme, and so you'll see like orange colors coming in. For this one in particular, yeah, I started with like a real silvery tone, and then I had them put the lights. I mean, I can put the lights anywhere I want, but I had them put the lights back in the exact same spots, and then shifted the color to, yeah, you're right, to like a gold. And that's kind of the idea. I want to just subtly, because I really like lighting, and if anybody's watched the things I've done, I can do a million different things with lights, but I don't want it to be about that either. You know what I mean? Okay. It's about like we're all making a movie together, if that makes sense. And the battlers are kind of like the writers of the movie, and I'm not trying to distract with, you know, a big crane shot that flies in and does a whole bunch of shit. That's not really how I want to do things. So yeah, that.
I see some messages here. One says Double Impact was one of the best productions so far.
Thank you.
Somebody says here, you got to have the best visuals possible to watch the battlers get robbed. That's a fun message.
I can't be in charge of everything. I just try to make the shit look pretty. I can't tell you what a judge or anybody should say. I can just present it well. That's all I have the option to do. But shout out to the judges. I don't feel like they've been all that fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty fair. I mean, so far they've pretty much been in agreement with every single fan vote battle. So right. It's like, who's getting robbed? I don't know. Everybody wants to talk about how you assisted Loso. I keep seeing a lot of messages in regards to that Loso scheme where he was manipulating the cameras with Smack White and Jay Black. They want to hear a little bit about that moment because everybody just they're infatuated with it here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that wasn't something Loso and I talked out beforehand or anything like that. Like that's just something. Like if you notice, if you just watch any of my stuff, like of any like battle rap director, I cut cameras a lot more often than most people do. They leave the camera up a lot longer. They leave like a what we call a safety wide, which is just sort of one shot in the center that covers everything. Tend to leave that up longer. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying how I do it. I actually cut to sort of the beat of how battle rappers rap. That's for the most part. I'm cutting to like on a rhythmic response to what I'm hearing. And so you can go back and watch anything like that, and I usually do it like that. The way the sort of perfect, it's damn near viral at this point. People message me about that every few days. Is Loso was playing to the cameras, right? He's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this. and it was on his rhythm, right? You could feel it, like if you watch the moments before that in the battle, like he's building to that. So I'm just in there cutting cameras, I'm hitting buttons, and then I see the pattern that he's going in, looking at the cameras. So I just try to guess, really, which one he's going to talk to, and that's really how it turned out.
This is crazy, CeCe.
Yeah,
Yo, that's why you the GOAT. That's why you the GOAT, because I would have effed that all up.
He's not just the GOAT, all right? He's not just the GOAT. He's the real chef. Tim92 in the chat says Avo who? I'm gonna upvote that message. Tim.
Hey. We don't need to start fights. We don't need to start fights.
Look, let them start.
There's lots of talented people around. There's lots of talented people around.
Let them start the fights and just let me read the messages. That's all we're gonna do. It got a lot of upvotes.
I was gonna sip my tea. I'm not in this.
All right. But JB said nothing. I just want to clarify that. But
I said nothing.
But hold on, let's get back to the rhythm of the camera angles, because that is crazy. So hold on, a guy like Jackboy must be crazy because he's all over, right?
Yeah. It's like him, B Dot, and a few other guys are like, right, are like
fast.
Yeah, and really, I mean, my approach to how I edit it, you mentioned Jackboy, like a lot of my approach to how I edit battles specifically comes from shooting Jackboy main battles. Like the first band battle ever is Jack, and he's doing the fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck that. And if you go back and see that battle, I'm cutting cameras based on those little things. And it's cool, like, because you'll now see other people in battle rap, other people directing battles and shit, and that idea has come into people doing it regularly. Like, I'm not saying people stole my shit. I'm saying, like, I love the idea that I kind of started doing something a certain way, and other people have been like, oh, that's effective, and they're doing it. So just to be clear, I'm not. That's not like some quiet shade and like, oh, I saw blah, blah, blah do it. No, like, go ahead and do it. It's cool. Like, I love the idea that I'd be affecting things that way. But yeah, a lot of it is born from my relationship with Jack and his lunatic fucking like approach to his movements. And then I said B Dot. B Dot is one of my favorite people to direct and also a goddamn nightmare because he's moving so much. I swear to God, like when I know there's a B Dot battle, like he and I have a lot of respect for each other, but I tell him like, you're gonna wear me the fuck out today. Like when he jumps in there, like I grab my fucking coffee, I take a big old sip of it, and then I go. You know, but I'd rather be challenged. You know what I mean? I'd rather have Danny and Rum Nitty and these guys who run all around than somebody who's facing away from the cameras, who's like trying to talk to the four people behind him the whole time, shit like that. Like, I mean, France, actually both of y'all have seen me like in the battle rap world. I talk to these guys and I'm like, if you fucking don't start facing the cameras, we're gonna have an actual problem.
But that's just 101 on performing. Like if you was on the stage rapping and performing in front of a crowd who's there to listen to your music, you're not gonna rap to the DJ behind you. You gotta rap facing the, like, it should be the
The thing is, CeCe, like a lot of battle rappers like downplay the attribute of performance. They'll be like, oh, that's just performance, or that's all performance. Like they'll downplay that as if it's not an very important like category that dominates the content forever, because that's where your content lives on camera. When you're manipulating all these angles, you know what I'm saying, or pointing or emphasizing or stressing on certain lines and bars of your material to certain angles, people can feel it more. It's just more captivating. That's why like DVD days when Smack had the Serious Jones and Mook battle, and Mook was like the first guy to say, let's look at the camera and start doing shit. Let's look at the camera, let's put a commercial. That shit aged like wine. You know, so performance is not just this weird dancing around, acting a bar out. It's like knowing all the calculated steps of like how to deliver your content. You know what I mean? Who's somebody else, JB, that like has a really good rhythm while you're directing them that we probably wouldn't notice?
One of my favorite, well, that you wouldn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a minute. But one of my favorite things that happened with a battle rapper was Rum Nitty has always been good and he's always moved around, right? He's always been a performer. But if you watch him versus Saga, he started doing this thing, and he's not doing it as much anymore, but I hope he brings it back. He started doing this insane thing. Go watch that battle. I think it's on the app, right? Yeah, it's on the app. Oh, it's on the update card. Yeah, so it's definitely still on the app.
So good.
Rum Nitty started doing this thing where he would build up to a punch, he would say the punch, and then he would basically run the fuck off the stage. Like, he would get so far out that the cameras couldn't capture him, and then he'd run back in. It's fucking fantastic. It, like, punctuates everything he said.
You know, you're right, because I'm thinking of a line from that battle, right? Where he was like, they keep comparing me to Magic. No, look past that. And then everybody went crazy, and then he just walked off.
Yeah, he fucking walks away. Like, yeah, he had this big jacket on. He had gloves on. He had gloves on, and he would do these, like, fluid motions, like, I'm past that. And then he'd point that way, and he'd walk that way. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah, CeCe's got it. There you go.
It's the arms. He's like the new generation. They do the TikTok dances with just their arms. They don't dance with their legs no more. That's y'all be seeing these kids with the TikTok dances too. Follow me. It's just all arms. It's like, bitch, don't you got legs? You in a wheelchair? Like, why don't y'all dance with your legs anymore?
Hey, wait, don't you have a TikTok?
I do, but I know how to dance. I dance with, it's a bodily formation. I get in formation like Beyonce. I don't know what these little kids be doing. I'm sorry.
Just give us a little something right now. France,
no,
put
because
me
I
on.
have my pajama pants on, and I don't want y'all to see my pajama pants.
See, France, that's what's wrong with the new generation. They're putting pajama pants on when they go live, and then they can't dance on spur of the moment.
Terrible.
What's wrong with the new generation?
Terrible.
I got 3 interviews tomorrow, job interviews tomorrow. Wish me luck, and I'm gonna be all good, dolled up. I'm gonna have my pajama pants on. You don't need to know what I got. Just know what I'm saying.
Waist up, 6 figures a year. Waist down, going back to bed. I get it.
Okay. But somebody asked a good question, talking about performances. What is one of the most cringiest performances you've seen behind the camera?
Oh, son of a bitch. I mean, I've seen all the ones y'all have seen. So it's like, you know, the ones where a guy was talking shit for 3 fucking weeks at a time and then choked all 3 rounds. You know? Honestly, there's enough of them at this point where I can't really say who that is. Oh fuck, I don't know. Yeah, there's like I said, I just had a front row seat for all the ones that you guys saw too. We don't really. There's not a lot of vaulted battles anymore these days. I mean, I guess if you're like a really low level guy, or you just like it's your first time on Survivor Series, and then you just eat shit, like that's gonna get vaulted. But for the most part, we watch all the pain. You know, that's what the fan base wants these days. They don't want us to curate the horrible failures. So yeah,
I agree, because I think it just hurts people too. It hurts the other person that might have showed up. I mean, look at Cortez. I mean, sure. That's been the thing that's been following him his whole career.
Yeah,
about having so many battles that were faulted, and it wasn't a lot of his fault.
I don't know how many he really has anymore. I feel like most of them have come to the surface. We'd have to, I think, well, France or somebody encyclopedic like that probably knows.
It's at least 4. It's between the Tech battle, the Uno Lavos battle, the Young Ill battle. That's and the chess battle.
I was there. I seen it, and I don't want to be there.
She was in the building for Gnome 2, Chicago, Young Ill and Cortez.
I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it?
They talk about bringing that back. Say no. Tell them no. No. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think people are clamoring to see that one again. And the thing is, Cortez is an elite battle rapper now. So like, what am I gonna do? Like, if I figured out a way to release his worst moment, what like I gotta go see that guy. Like I have to interact with him later. Like he's not gonna be happy. Why am I doing that to him? You know what I mean?
Now everybody is saying Casita and Young Ill in the chat.
Man, that's a relic. That battle's almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
That battle's almost 10 years old. Just say that sentence for a second. That is nuts.
Here's my thing about that battle. If that battle resurfaces, it's gonna have to be like a nostalgic trip because I doubt that those lines are gonna age well. You know what I mean? However good the battle is, I'm guessing that I don't know. We forget because we all most of us came in the early stages of battle rap, right? Or in the early stages of URL or whatever point you jumped in at. People get nostalgic for that moment in time, but it's hard to know if something from 10 years ago, like you said, is gonna stack up to like shit that's almost become normal now, like Kid Chaos and Real Sick. Like I could book Real Sick and Kid Chaos against people on a card, and however well they do, it's almost going to be normal to people. So like some battles just aren't going to stack up to that.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't see it. I want to see it too. I want the world to see it, and I have the opportunity to go digging through the vaults soon and see what's still down there. But you know, there's been a lot of people who've worked at URL over the years, so I don't know what people have saved and not saved. Not everybody's as organized as everybody else, so I don't fucking know what's you know what's deep in the vault.
CeCe can remember that time as well as I do because we love Young Ill. Everybody loves Young Ill. That was the tail end of his prime because that's when he was like off the Rex battle and it was like one of his best performances. In the Conceited battle, he was still in that same momentum. Then the Cortez battle happened and he just was like, it's like a basketball player tore his ACL. It was just never the same.
Shout out to Young Ill because that's the homie.
Yeah,
that's the homie.
Yeah. I'm a Midwestern boy. I was born in St. Louis.
Yep. So yeah, he was my first like favorite as far as like
he was your first
battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And the Midwest movement, Young Ill was my favorite. Period.
Yeah. I think he was a lot of people's favorite.
I think he doesn't get enough credit for being that guy that creates like moments because he's that person that's like, if you look at his battles as a whole, like he never has a full 3 rounds, but he has one round that's like always unforgettable with a moment that lives on. And he created that if you have a moment and you're the most remembered thing in that battle, you might just win.
Yeah, and I think he was himself. You know what I mean? I think that was the other thing that was just very, very appealing about him. His delivery is very St. Louis, like CeCe, you're a Midwest, you're one of mine, like that's how people in St. Louis talk, right? Like he really comes off that way. Like that's like somebody's uncle or auntie like yelling at him. Like that's how that sounds. Like, he sounds like that. Just a lot of personality and just making you feel terrible about yourself. Like that's what he's got.
But now look at how many we got loud ass battle rappers that are just loud. Everybody had something to say about it back in 2010 and all that. But all y'all is loud as hell. Some of y'all don't need no mic.
You sure don't.
I was gonna say some media personalities might not need
always says that my volume on my mic always be like damn near to the end, and I'll be like far away from that. I'll be like, "Hey y'all."
We have, but with you, CeCe, there's a sweet spot with it where you have to have it loud enough to catch the like the dynamics with her is pretty significant.
Oh, you would hate me if I was a battle rapper. You'd be like, "Yo, my ears are bleeding." Like I literally got her mic to the lowest of low. My ears are bleeding.
The K-Shine setting. I call that the K-Shine setting.
That's the K-Shine setting. See, K-Shot be yelling. He always I never understood that back in the day. Like
K-Shot could stop traffic with
y'all
that fucking
will
voice.
always let K-Shot be yeah. And then when Young Illy, oh my God, there he go yelling again. It's like, what? The hate.
We're reaching close to our hour ending here, so I got a couple more things I want to touch on. Gnome,
Please.
it should be about I don't know if there's a date out, but just calculating the Ultimate Madness schedule should be about maybe 4-6 weeks away from now, something like that, right?
Yeah. It's very soon. I don't have the date in front of me either, but yeah, you're right.
All right, so it's coming up. That's for sure. And last year it was it was shot by and directed by by Caffeine. Everybody went crazy. And they found out it wasn't you, and they're like, "Oh, okay, my bad. We're sorry. We apologize." But this time it will be you. What are you looking? Do you have anything special yet planned for Gnome that you can? I know you've been thinking about it, but is there anything you can tell us so far?
No, I don't have anything. I don't have anything solid yet. I've just been really trying to focus all my energy on the tournament, just because I don't want to split my attention all the way. But yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be visually elevated. That's really all I could say for sure. I think I'll probably bring back. I'll almost certainly bring back. I really liked in what I was able to accomplish in Double Impact, where all the cameras were essentially, we call it handheld. They're not literally just in your hands, but they're like shoulder rigs or different things that kind of keep the cameras moving the whole time, which to me is sort of like an action movie aesthetic. So I feel like that's probably definitely the way to go. And then I just want people in the room now that, whether that's caffeine pushback or just licensing pushback or like permit pushback from LA County, whatever. It is what it is, but I want to try to get as many humans in that room as possible. And I think with the gravity of what Gnome is, I think that's every battler who's on that card and a whole lot of other people are probably going to be calling me personally, trying to figure out ways to get in. You guys are probably both calling to try to get in. You're like, hey, we had you on the show. Why don't you get an Airbnb? Something like that. So, I invite those calls. It's cool. But yeah, I think we'll get some people in the room, which honestly to me is, I could shoot all this shit on an iPhone. If there's people there, it's going to feel right. I really believe that.
Well, you got a lot of people in the chat talking about, you got your hometown girl, Marla, talking about bringing to Kansas City. You got DC. I know a lot of people were getting excited when they heard the news that the Texas governor opened the state back up. And a lot of people were saying, oh, bring it back to Houston and bring back the crowds. Like, have y'all considered that? Or just moving outside of LA, just period, for like other events and battles?
Yeah, I think that's all coming soon. I don't think Gnome will be that way. I don't know. I mean, there's always the possibility that the bosses would get just really excited and want to do that. But Caffeine themselves are pretty well entrenched in LA, and they pay for these massive studios for us to use. So I don't know if they're looking to just throw that money away. And it's how I move, how my team moves is pretty lean and mean, but Caffeine is a much bigger entity. Like, they hire a lot more people to work on the shoot. So it's kind of tough to just spur of the moment be like, hey, everybody go to Houston for the week. You know what I mean? For them, that's a very different expense. But the 1,000-foot view on that is absolutely we're going back to the stages. Absolutely, we're going back to the crowds. For my contribution and my partner P, like our contribution, like we're looking at new markets for the Born Legacy and Band Legacy like series. So like we discovered that Cincinnati is a crazy battle rap enthusiasm, kind of the way when we figured out Houston was like that. Hi, CeCe. Yes, you'll
I'm
be there.
just not gonna come back to
Don't look
Detroit.
at me crazy like you're not gonna be there. You'll be there.
She
Be there.
It's like a 6-hour drive, but it's like y'all just not gonna come back. Y'all not gonna come back to Detroit. Y'all don't want to come back.
Maybe,
to Detroit.
yeah, no.
Man,
Detroit.
nobody want to get killed, Smack. Nobody going back over there, man. I'm sorry. Detroit is part. Look, Detroit is in the third world country tier of America. I'm sorry. It's just not one of those places.
I'm done. You know what, Philly? We gotta band together and we gotta jump this fool. Okay, we gotta jump this mofo. He disrespecting the city. So Philly, just give me a holler. We gonna set it all up and we gonna jump.
You guys won't even get the chance because I will never step foot in there. All right. And to all of our fans from Detroit, I'm sorry if I disrespected you. I didn't know you had stable internet connections to listen to this show to begin with. So I apologize to you guys.
You did not. Oh no, you did not. No, you did not.
Hold on, real quick.
Everybody,
real quick, before this becomes about Detroit and whether or not Detroit or CeCe has a chip on her shoulder, you throw a battle rap event. I'll be there. Well, yeah, you're connected. You know people.
He ain't gonna come to Brightmore. He ain't gonna come to Joy Road. He ain't gonna go to Mac and Beaver and say all that though.
You see how threatening that sounds? And then she's like, "Why don't people want to? Why don't people want to come to Detroit?" She sounds like she's threatening everybody.
You ain't gonna go nowhere and say that though. So don't do that in the Bronx. Cause guess one thing about Detroit, we ain't never scared. We come out there, we'll come out there in your home and jump you.
See, that's the energy why we're not coming to Detroit.
Exactly. You just showcased the reason why to not go to help you notice. You had one chance and you blew it.
And I ain't changing for nobody.
That's good. That's good. But no, Cincy is really looking promising. New Orleans, Seattle is an interesting spot. There's a bunch of new spots.
Everybody loves Seattle. I love Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but I would.
Yeah, every time I travel back and forth to the Bay for other life stuff, I always wonder why we're not doing broadcasts out there. So that's kind of going to be my project for like the second half of 2021 and into 2022 is finding those other spots where we do really well and trying to cultivate those relationships and trying to get us out there. And not just me, of course. I want to shout out P. I've said his name a couple of times, but P is damn near the gas in the engine and the engine at URL at this point. Like he really makes the trains run on time. And he's kind of the voice of innovation over there too. Like he's always kind of pushing for new names, stuff like that. So I just wanted to shout out my guy.
Yeah, big shout outs to P, man.
What about Atlanta?
I can't quite figure out what the situation is with Atlanta. I mean, we've obviously done a number of things in Atlanta at this point, but I don't know. Is it what you guys tell me? What's the?
I'd rather go back to New York. I'm with everybody in the chat that said come back to New York.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to New York than Atlanta. No offense, it's love. Atlanta is ish, but it's just yeah.
I think Atlanta's built up a bad stigma of a reputation for itself with battle rap as a battle rap crowd, and sometimes maybe it's not always that, but I mean that's just now the reputation they've built. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like maybe they're a music kind of concert type of city, and they're used to. I mean, anybody who's actually been to a battle rap event, it's not that loud. So you can't really sit there and try to pick up women at the bar and shit. Like, can't do it. Like, you gotta shut the fuck up and watch.
I had to tell men to shut up because I'm trying to listen. They all in my ear. So like, you came down here by yourself, you know, go. And then I'm getting told, shh. Don't shush me, okay? Don't shush me. And then it's
like a whole skit
an irritating
right there.
experience.
Yeah. So but and I don't really know for sure because it seems like we may be able to you know, battle rap in general is what I mean when I say we may be able to develop something in Atlanta or develop that core crowd where they're not just kind of showing up so people see their new sneakers or whatever, like that they're actually there to watch the event, the way it was in New York. But that'll take a little bit of time. So maybe we start with small events down there. But yeah, going back to New York, absolutely.
I'm here for that.
Oh, I'm here for that too, man. Last thing I wanted to touch on, I did notice that this season you guys didn't do the off weekends. Maybe that might be a location thing, right? Because I know the first couple seasons was in Raleigh, and this one was in LA, so it must be difficult to come to LA every single week to do an off weekend. So I'm sure it's a little less grueling for you. But the non-caffeine events, those always look so beautiful too. Like Nunn Nunn and Ryda, even though like everybody wanted Loso and Chess, and now they're not as happy with Nunn Nunn and Ryda. Watch the battle. The battle shot fantastic. Nunn Nunn's second round was good, and Ryda said he stormed the Capitol. But the battle looked beautiful. and when Loso and Chess drops, it's gonna look just as gorgeous. What do you do differently with these non-caffeine events?
Well, I mean, frankly, and again, this is not like some subtle shade or something. Everything that we shoot that are app exclusives are my team. So it's me, Kay, Snub, and Rob BC. And you guys might not know those names yet, but you will, because it's a group of guys that I'm grooming, for lack of a better term, to take over what I do so that I can go up and become more of a supervisor and then develop new things for the app and for URL in general. And they're my cameras. They're the cameras that I purchased, which are red cameras and Blackmagic cameras. So they look the way I want them to look. The caffeine shoots look like caffeine shoots because that's caffeine equipment and the people that they hire. Now they hire very talented people, but it's a different aesthetic. The fact of the matter is certain cameras look the way they look, and certain camera people operate the way they operate. So I don't have like these days, now that I'm kind of like at the center of the aesthetic with caffeine, I like the way the caffeine shoots look too. But I love the way my team puts together those shoots, and I do all the lighting personally on the URL shoots too. So that like the heavy-handed, like heavy shadows and stuff, I don't have to do it all the time, but it's definitely my favorite, like short notice go-to, like how we're gonna make this look cool. Oh yeah, put the light back here and make it look scary and kind of gritty. That's sort of my favorite.
Well, man, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing what the team, Snub and the rest of the guys, what they evolve to with your leadership. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to see what you evolve to as well once they're able to kind of man the fort of everything. JB, 2020, shot over 200 battles. So far this year, you're a little bit close to 100, right? A little over the halfway point of 100. So you're probably going to average 200 battles a year for the next 2 years, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think, I don't remember what 2020 was. It was close to 200. It was up there. And yeah, I don't know what this year will be, but yeah, when I sneak away and do crucibles and do app events and do rooftop shit and all that stuff. Yeah.
I want to point out how exquisite 200 battles is, right? CeCe, you were a panelist. I was a panelist, right? And we've watched over 200 battles a year last year to be on that panel. Bad Money's probably still in the chat. He's probably watched over 200 battles a year to be on the panel. I really think those watch hours is something that's really important. So you're not just watching 200 battles. You're directing 200 battles to then edit 200 battles, so you're watching them multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just want to make sure the roses are given out there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Like, because it is. I mean, make no mistake about it. It's a labor of love. Like, my pay is great, but it's, in any other world, it'd be different for the amount of man hours but I say that just to say me and everybody at URL, which is only a small handful of people. I know we seem like we're whatever, Amazon or something like that, but there's really like 6 or 7 people over here. Like we break our ass fucking trying to do this. Like we really, everybody puts in ridiculous hours to make this shit happen.
Man, thank you. Thank you all, man.
I just have one last request. When you shoot Rex in Easy, please make sure you get all of the movements that Rex does, all right? I'm sure there's going to be some classical moment, some perfect thing for a gift, something really good. Not just the hat slam. I'm talking everything. Like, this guy, like, his shirt raises up, he bends over it, and, you know, you see a little bit of everything. Get everything. Get everything, all right? Get everything.
You trying to see crack again?
I'm just saying, Rex is going to do something funny. Don't miss it.
He's definitely gonna be Rex. Like that little walk he does where it just seems like he's about to fight him and shit like that. Yeah, no, I'm trying to catch everything. Rex is one of my favorite performers.
There's a viral clip waiting from that battle to happen, and I know it's gonna happen.
His faces alone is going to make me lose my mind. I can't wait for this. It's about to be funny. And that face off too. The face off about to be
He'll win the face off. Miss Marla called it the Rex cam. Easy's gonna he's just gonna talk through Rex's rounds.
You say Easy's gonna talk through Rex's rounds?
I'm sorry, I read it backwards. Rex is gonna talk through Easy's rounds.
Oh,
Rex is
okay.
gonna pack a lunch. Rex is gonna slam his hat during Easy's rounds. That'd be funny if he just slams his hat while Easy's rapping.
That's fantastic. But the one that you said very quickly that we want to acknowledge, or that I would like to acknowledge, is Rex is gonna pack a lunch. Do you know what a fantastic fucking nonverbal rebuttal that would fucking be if the man had like a brown bag fucking lunch and just pulled it out and like apple, peanut butter sandwich, like and then just started eating the shit. I don't even care what it says at that point.
I'd lose my mind, man. I know that battle's gonna have some kind of funny moment. But JB, man, I know you're a busy man, and we're just about reaching our time. We thank you so much for today, and we thank you for your services as always, man.
Thank y'all for having me on, man. You know it's family. So love you guys.
Yeah, your work ethic is unmatched. Your contributions to the culture is incredible. You are the director for a reason, the head guy in charge. Salute to you, JB.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, everybody, as always, we'll be back tomorrow for CeCe Solo Show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hasta mañana. All right, man.